Hey, and welcome back to Pints with Pals. I'm the Pals, and this is Mike and Jason. Welcome, Jeremy. How is everyone doing today?
Doing great.
That was confusing.
Yeah.
All right, today's episode is about another beer by Mike. He made a Kolsch. This is batch number 2-ish.
No, this is
Correct? No,
this is the
one?
first Kolsch that I had made. But it is the second attempt at trying to make a Kolsch. The first Kolsch ended up being a red Kolsch, which
yes,
Oh.
yes, I remember that one.
So I saw the picture of red Kolsch and saw this beer. I'm showing the beer on camera for those people, and it was not the red. It was not the Kolsch that I was expecting. And you can see where my confusion is based on the difference between these two pictures is very subtle.
That word red at the very top. So, interesting story. Kolsch comes from Cologne, Germany, right? Okay. It's served in a 6.8 ounce glass, very tall, skinny. It's an ale. Looks like a lager, but it's actually an ale. Many restaurants that you go to in Cologne, when you order a Kolsch, when you finish one, another one gets put onto your table. And they mark this little coaster, like how many you have. And the only way to stop this madness is you have to put that coaster on top of your glass to say that you're done.
That's awesome.
They just keep giving you more and more and more and more. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I was watching Anthony Bourdain's like The Unknown or whatever, Restaurants Unknown or whatever. He was in Cologne, and you can see his thing. He had like 12 of these damn things. He's like, how do we stop this? It's like, well, you don't.
Like a Brazilian steakhouse. You gotta flip that.
It keeps going around. Yeah. So I mean, I'm very excited. I like Kolsch's. Like I said, giving a Kolsch is pretty close to a lager in flavor. It should be clean, it's crisp, it's very light. What's the ABV on this one, Mike? And IBU and all the good jazz.
So the target original gravity is supposed to be, or from this sheet, was supposed to be between 1044 or 1042 and 1046, and it looked like mine was at 1046, so it was on the high end. And I think it finished pretty at like 1.0. I again didn't write it down because apparently I'm terrible at taking notes. I'm trying to see. So I brewed this the day after I brewed the Scotch ale. So I don't learn anything from my brew days. I just literally go into the next one okay. So I did. I got down to 1013. So it's 5 in about 5.1, 5.2 ish ABV.
Okay. So a little definitely on the higher side of most Kolsch's, but that's very good. Here we go.
Oh,
got another hiss. That's good.
yeah.
You did a good job bottling these, Mike.
Yeah, so this one is actually a little bit less clear than my first one. Oop, I definitely got something.
Well, that's actually pretty good.
So this one was brewed, so it was, for those following along, it was brewed on the 1027, so the day after, but then we bottled it. I bottled it on like 1224. This one did not last very long. Yeah, it's definitely got a good, the good Belgian / German smell to me. Oh, so this one I did use liquid yeast. Was my first attempt at liquid yeast. And so I bought the one that you have to smack. So you're supposed to smack a separate packet of like or LME basically to activate the yeast.
Right.
Well, I smacked it and it didn't break it. And then I was like, I don't know how hard to smack this thing. I'm like, well, I could still feel it. So I'm just like trying to crush the packet inside, and it didn't kick off right away. So it took a little bit longer to kick off. So I was kind of nervous. But it was like a $15 pack of yeast, so I was not going to waste it. So I just kept letting it go, and then it went and turned out good. And I've used it 3 other times. The second one of this was way better because this one I brewed under pressure. So it kind of suppressed a lot of the flavors, I think, that I got in the second one.
I can see that, yeah, for sure.
No, it's still good.
Yeah, I think my cup has some weird residual
That
smells
sucks.
to it. Yeah. Because it has like an eggy smell, but I don't think that's right at all. Because it's not a lager.
No,
Unless
I think that this one did have a little bit of a sulfur smell. I don't smell it now, but I smelled it originally. And like
it's very faint. Again, like I've been swirling mine around, kind of getting more of the.
So I think that was an issue I had with this one that didn't exist in the next one. So I was thinking that it was because it took so long for the yeast to kick off. So, and it might have been a temperature issue too, but like once you get past that, it's very like floral. I feel like there's a floral aspect to it. So
at the tail end, I can see that.
The basic recipe, and we'll just go into it real quick just so we can kind of get an idea, is 10 pounds of Pilsner malt and 8 ounces of Crystal 15, with 2 hop additions. You have Pearl in the first 60 minutes and then Saaz in the last minute. Then you pull it out and cool it down.
Now, did you squeeze any of these hops, or did you just pull them out and be done with them?
No, I squeeze them. Like I try and get every little last bit of sugar off the thing. Everything that I've seen has been like so I'm like the what's the Brewlosophy? So they go do these like triangle tests where they like do a bunch of stuff. And if you're not subscribed to Brewlosophy, I highly recommend it. They release like an informative video every month, I think. I think it might have been once a week, but I haven't seen them in a few months. So I feel like it's probably once a month. But anyhow, they like go through and do these like triangle tests where they're like brewing under pressure versus like actually setting the temperature for an ale, or not an ale, lager and things like that. And then they do like just weird triangle tests, and a lot of them end up being inconclusive. Basically, that they're just like not noticing much of a difference at all. It's not detectable between their stuff. So they like squeeze the hops, and it's like their ABV is actually raised because of it. So they're getting a little bit of residual sugar out of the grain. But then like besides the higher ABV, most people can't tell the difference between that and the one you just left and didn't do anything with. So if you're trying to get every last little bit of your liquid, so you actually get a full 5 gallons of beer at the end, I would recommend just squeezing it.
So I guess my question, it might be confused. I said, did you squeeze the hops, not the grain? So the grains I squeeze, hops I don't.
No, I did not squeeze the hops.
Okay. I didn't think you did, but you said you did. And then you went explaining, and I was like, wait a minute. Maybe.
Yeah, sorry. No, I don't. I have a hop spider that is like the length of the thing, and I will, when I'm sparging, or not sparging, but when I'm like recirculating while it's boiling, I have it pouring into that. So like any particulates will just like kind of fall into that like fine mesh. Just because I don't want to have to clean it out later. So I would rather just get it all out of the thing to begin with. Although the hop spider has to clean.
Love it. It can be. I clean mine like right when I'm done using it. I'm going running to the sink and rinsing it out. So it's so nice and hot and it falls right out really easily. Best time to do it. Got any questions, Jason? I feel like we're hogging all of it. Thoughts, impressions?
Well, okay, so I'm getting I definitely get how it's an ale. Like I never do that about a Kolsch. I mean, I like Kolsch's, but that it's a mix of an ale and a lager. Tastes like farm. What's like a farm ale or whatever it's called? Like that's the vibe. Yeah, that's like the vibe I'm getting from it. Like it's a lighter version of it. Maybe that's the ale coming through, the ale flavors. But also getting like a pine salt, like a piney taste. I don't know. Like what are do you know the IBUs on it?
So it should have been.
Usually like IPAs are piney. That's like.
So the IBUs should have been around 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems
SRM
lighter, but it
of
just has like that piney taste, I guess. I don't know if I can put a number to it yet. I'm trying to keep drinking it to see. I guess I'll say I don't love it at the moment.
Yeah, and I think it tastes
fair.
different coming off of another beer too, because it's a little bit lower or
Fair.
a little bit lower like sugar content. Essentially, the other one was so sweet.
And maybe it's the like Jeremy was saying, like the sulfur, or I guess Mike, you said sulfur, the eggy smell. Like there's something there.
Still lingering there.
Yeah.
But I do get floral. I don't get much. I don't get piney or. Yeah, okay. I definitely get like
maybe
a floral
that I'm
at the end. Yeah. Which isn't really super off-putting. It's just different. Yeah. And I've never used Pearl before, so yeah. And it could be the Pearl hops. Like I've never used Pearl hops. I've used Saaz for bittering and for 1 minute additions, but I mean, again, the kit that you bought, and I'm sure you probably didn't look to see how old the hops were to begin with, or any of that crap. Now, was it pre-crushed or did you crush it?
I crushed it. I've crushed all of my grain. Actually, the specialty hops, grain came crushed in these. So like you couldn't get the specialty grain or not crushed, which was irritating.
Yeah, because who knows what that was done. And
Right.
if was it stored in a oxygen-free bag or blah, 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 anything like that too.
So that's why I'm wondering. Well, now I'm wondering because all the subsequent ones I've just bought the grain. So like this kit was like, I think $30 or somewhere in there. But then if you buy everything separately, it's like $22. Well, if you don't,
better.
Yeah. So I'm like, I just bought everything separate. Yeah. And I already had the yeast. So, because I'm just reusing the yeast. I'll probably use it like 1 or 2 more times and then be done. But
now, did you use the same hops with it as well, the Pearl and Saaz?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so maybe it could be just an old specialty grain.
I think it was just that the hops didn't kick off. And like the next one that I just brewed, I think is going to have issues too because it was so cold in my basement. It not hops, the yeast didn't kick off because it was just like it just sat there for like 2 or 3 days and then didn't do anything. And I finally had to like hook up a heater and get it above like 62 degrees before it like started to bubble and do all its stuff. But we'll see, I guess. Magic. Yeah,
they're doing its magic. I think it's good. I give it I think a 3.75 overall.
Yeah.
I enjoy it for what it is. I think it's great. I think this one is crushable compared to the other one that we had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, this one specifically, I don't like as much as the next one. The one I made after this one was amazing. It's gone, never to be have again.
2.75. I don't like it. I don't want another one. Sorry,
it's close to a wheat, I feel like. So you're probably picking up on that because you
maybe that might be it.
Tend to stay away from the wheated.
Yeah, but I like Kolsch's.
Do you like Kolsch's or do you like Helles?
Helles's.
That might be it. Maybe I like Helles.
That's what I thought I was buying, or that's what I thought this was until I like read about it and I was like, yep. And then
I think we do like Kolsch's. I think we do enjoy those. I just, like you said, this one could just be slightly off, and it's fine. And it's all brew.
I thought we had a Kolsch in Chicago.
I don't know if that was a Kolsch or Helles now. I got them so confused that I have no clue.
Yeah, I liked whatever beers we had. I think we had 2 beers there, and I liked them both.
So I find
also
Helles
this beer is 6 months old.
True.
Kolsch's?
Helles, I think Helles is a little more malty flavor to it for sure. In my opinion, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what I like about them because they have that little sweet crispness to them. Where Kolsch I find to be a little more dry.
It's like like a metallic tang is what I'm getting. Like that's, and maybe
yours went bad because
maybe
I feel like you're tasting stuff that I don't really taste. Like the
maybe it went bad. You are right. It could have. It was fizzy.
I mean, I could have just not rinsed that glass the right way or had too much other shit, or it could be, was your cap rusty? I've had that shit happen.
No, looks good. Who knows? Maybe it's just me, or maybe, as you said, we're having this as a second beer. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, whenever I get the other one on tap, I'll just have you come over and try it.
There you go.
It's sitting in the fridge right now, lagering, even though it's in
lagering.
The next one I made was probably about, I don't know, 50% clearer than this one, but it was a little bit lower ABV too, so that was kind of nice. I just feel like I want to make something that's not as like deadly as these ones tend to be.
I mean, I've been liking the lighter beers because, I don't know, maybe I'm getting older, but I can't. Like, I like drinking I like the taste of beer, but if I drink a heavier beer, it's like I can have a couple and then I'm, done for the night. But at least with a lighter beer, as we're saying, crushable, or you can have more than one. Like, that's what I look for nowadays, or try to.
Yeah.
But I still like hazy IPAs, and hazy IPAs run pretty high.
Always.
Yeah.
You'll never see too many low ones.
Yeah.
But I want to switch this topic just for a quick second. I want to bring those up. There's a new yeast strain that came out from White Labs, and it was cultivated from a Polish smoked beer. I can't pronounce it. Maybe I can add it to the show notes later on. But this Polish smoked beer, guess what the ABV is in it?
14%.
That's a good guess. What about you, Mike?
7%, 6%.
It's 2.3 to 3.2%. Yeah.
I was thinking it was going to be low based on the conversation.
It's super, super low. Like, wow, that's interesting. So I think what they did was just a bunch of bottle dredges to scrape whatever yeast they could to cultivate enough to produce this thing. This came out yesterday, if I remember correctly. I'm not a big fan of smoked beers. I know I keep saying we should all try one. The thing about smoked beers, when you make them, they're super smoky. You let them sit for like 6-7 months. Like, smoke goes away for the most part. So I don't know. Maybe we should all just try one day. And
that was like your
the black lager.
Yeah, what the hell was that called?
Black lager.
No, you called it something that was like, it was like a Mike didn't like it kind of thing. It was like confusing my brain. But yeah.
Oh, I don't remember now. Yeah. Been a minute.
So you guys talk about, or Mike, you're talking about saving your yeast. How do you save the yeast? So I've never brewed a beer. I've brewed a beer. Sorry, I did when I was like 17. My brother was brewing a beer, so I was watching him and helping him. But how are you saving the yeast? How's that work? Because I've heard of people like you get the floaties in the bottom, so you can save that somehow and reuse that. Yeah.
So with the second one that I did, I just literally poured it on top of. So like I just like had the stuff that was left over after so it all sinks to the bottom and you cool it off, and then it'll like stay at the bottom, and then when you pull all your beer off, it's just there. So there's like dead yeast and then regular yeast in there. And so most of the time people will take and like wash it. So that basically what that means is you take it and fill it with like either like distilled water or like boiled water that you've cooled back down. But basically you're going to do that, stir it up, and then the yeast will stay in suspension, and then the other like dredges or whatever will sink to the bottom quickly. So after like 30 minutes or whatever, you could pull all that stuff off the top, and then that's basically your leftover yeast with the water. So then you can do that a couple of times to like rinse it more, or you can just put that in the fridge, depending on how much water you have in there. You can put that in the fridge and then let it sit, and then all your yeast will fall out of that solution, so that you can dump that off, and then you just have like yeast left over. So I did it with like a gallon thing, and I had like a thick cake of yeast that I just then dumped into the beer again. So I saved it that way. So like the refrigerator will basically not kill the yeast, but it'll like put it into like suspension sleep mode essentially.
Okay.
Yep. You do 10 generations. Like
I heard 5. You start to like get some weirdness, but I would be willing to try it.
Weirdness.
Yeah. Because everything I've done after the first one has been, well, the one I've done, I think I've only done, this might be the third one I've done. I don't remember. Can't remember how many Kolsch's, but it was like, it's a hit here. So like people are just like surprised that this comes out of like a home brewer, essentially.
Detroit water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm not treating my water at all either. So like that could potentially cause issues down the road if I'm trying to do anything super specific, but mostly that just affects IPAs, and I'll never brew an IPA. Nope.
Well, yeah, and like you said, and it's a very special style. So let's say you want to do English beers, and English beers are all soft beers. So you would have to treat your water to be very soft water profile.
Well, I think our water is probably already soft, so I think it lends itself to those beers, maybe. I guess it's not softened, but like we have suds and stuff. We don't have hard water, like when we wash your hair and stuff. Well,
right.
When one washes one's hair, you guys might know what it feels like.
You got hair here.
I have about as much hair here as I have up here.
Yeah, you're rocking it.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're starting to be silly again.
All right. And on that note, don't forget to...
This is pals.
Yeah, to go out and pal with your pints. Nope. Have a pint with pals. Yeah.
Please drink responsibly.
And like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you drink next. Let them know what they should brew next.
Exactly. And if you're brewing, tell us where you're brewing.
Yeah.
Till then, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.